Are you considering a move to the Eastern Panhandle? When Paul and I moved here 25 years ago, there wasn't any online information about what life is like here. So I started doing videos about this area, things you'd probably like to know if you're thinking of moving here. So this video is an overview of the whole Eastern Panhandle, the 3 counties, how they are alike, how they are different, local vibe. Hopefully it'll give you some insight, help you find your bearings if you're not familiar with this area. Decide which part of the Eastern Panhandle you'd like better. I'm Jana Classy, and my husband Paul and I are realtors here in the Eastern Panhandle with Snyder Bailey and Associates. The Eastern Panhandle is in the northeast part of the state. It's a strip of land that juts out from the east border of West Virginia and dips down so that it is surrounded on 2 sides by Maryland to the north, Virginia to the south. It takes about an hour and a half, 2 hours to drive to the Washington, D.C. area, depending on where you are. Same for Baltimore, about an hour to Dulles Airport. And that's what a lot of people like about the area. It's closer to major metro areas, but it's very different. Slower pace, less expensive, less congested. The 3 counties here, Jefferson, Berkeley, and Morgan, of the 3, Jefferson is closest to the DC metro area, and that distance is reflected in home prices. Jefferson has a higher price point because it's closer to the DC, Baltimore area. Then Berkeley, and then the least expensive is Morgan, which is the furthest out. So here's some similarities between these 3 counties. All have a crime rate less than the average of all counties in the United States. Jefferson, an A+, according to crimegrade.org, and is rated as one of the top 10 safest cities in West Virginia. Berkeley is rated A, and then Morgan is rated B+. Anything with a B- or above is considered safer than most cities in the United States. So all 3 counties good on that front. All 3 counties have low property taxes compared to neighboring states. West Virginia ranks as the 8th state in the lowest property taxes in the United States. Jefferson has a tax rate of 7%, Berkeley and Morgan 6%. All 3 counties have a high percentage of home ownership, 70-75%, probably due to the lower taxes and home prices compared to the DC area. All counties are rich in American history, dating back to the Revolutionary War. Of the 3, Jefferson has more historic towns. There's Charlestown, Shepherdstown, and Harpers Ferry, and each have their own historic identity. Harpers Ferry attracts more tourists. It's loaded with Civil War history. The Appalachian Trail passes through there. It's where the Shenandoah and Potomac River meet, so there's a lot of water sports, water tubing, rafting. Charlestown is the county seat. It was founded by Charles Washington, George Washington's brother. It has the Hollywood Casino and Racetrack, which is a huge facility, concerts, restaurants, big racetrack. It's a big tourist attraction. Shepherdstown borders the Potomac River. It's the oldest town in West Virginia and home of Shepherd University. Both Charlestown and Shepherdstown have beautiful historic homes in town. So Jefferson County has more expensive homes, more of a sense of history. It's about a 45-minute drive to the DC area, and it's growing, but not at the pace you see in Berkeley County. Berkeley is the middle county. The growth is in part due to I-81, which runs down the middle of the county, and that goes from Pennsylvania down to Virginia and beyond. So getting where you need to go is pretty easy if you live near 81. Also, there's a couple large companies that have recently opened branches in Berkeley County, so there's more local jobs. You can see the growth as you travel through the area. There's construction going on to widen 81, plus lots of new home subdivisions all along there. What I really like are the efforts underway to regenerate the downtown area. those huge brick buildings on King Street, the interwoven mills, they're being rehabbed by new owners. And the city has several plans to increase walking areas in town. So there's a lot of good stuff going on in Berkeley County. It's about an hour to an hour and a half to the DC area. If you look at an aerial of Berkeley County, you can see that the west side of 81 is lots less congested and becomes more so as you travel further west, leading to Morgan County. High-speed internet becomes less accessible the further out you go. Morgan is the furthest county out. It has a much lower population density, 79 people per square mile, compared to 378 in Berkeley, 279 in Jefferson. So if you're looking for some land, open spaces, Morgan might be a good choice. There's not many subdivisions, more homes with acreage, less restrictions, and a lot of people find that very appealing. So if you're looking for more land, privacy, freedom to do what you want on your property, things like target shooting, hunting, four-wheeling, keeping chickens, things like that, Morgan's a good choice. Those are things you really can't do in a subdivision with some restrictions. And Berkeley Springs is the county seat, and it is another charming historic town. Lots of artists live there, so the galleries in town have some great stuff. Handmade jewelry, paintings by local artists. Berkeley Springs is also known for its therapeutic waters and spas. The old Roman bath in town is the first spa in North America. George Washington surveyed the town and visited often to bathe in the springs there. There's quite a few weekend homes in Morgan, and the little town of Berkeley Springs swells up with tourists on weekends. So it's a mixture of people wanting to live out in the country, weekenders, and artists and shop owners in town. It's about hour 45 to 2 hour drive to the DC area. Here's a few other differences between the three counties. Zoning. Jefferson County does have zoning in place. Berkeley County does not, although there are efforts underway by some citizens to put that in place. Morgan County does not have zoning, and there's a strong faction there that would oppose any attempt at that. College degrees. 19% of the population in Jefferson have college degrees, and that's the same as the national average. Morgan has 9% and Berkeley 14%. Median household income. Berkeley is $61,000, which is about the same as the national average. $77,000 in Jefferson, $51,000 in Morgan. Home sale prices. The median price in Morgan is $220,000. Jefferson about $325,000. Berkeley $275,000. There's several train stations in the area. There's 2 in Jefferson County, 1 in Harpers Ferry, 1 in Duffields. There's also a train station in Martinsburg, and that's in downtown Martinsburg. And those trains leave in the morning and return in the early evening. So some of the counties up, Jefferson is the closest to the DC area. It has zoning, maybe more restrictions, has a train station, 2 train stations for commuting to the DC area. Berkeley also has a train station that commutes to DC. It's the fastest growing area. Morgan is by far the least populated, and home prices are lower. There's no zoning. There's more unrestricted property in Morgan. So we are getting a lot of inquiries from people that are interested in this area, people working in DC or the Baltimore metro area. Now that telecommuting is more accessible, people can live where they want. Most are attracted to this area because of the cheaper home prices, less congestion, and the beautiful countryside. We put together lots of information about each county and community, and that's all posted on our website, meetmeinthepanhandle.com. If you go there to that website, click on communities, you'll see the list. So just click on the community you're interested in, and you'll see links to school information, medical resources. Also, you'll be able to see all the homes for sale in that community. And to the right is a link to a playlist with details about each area. So check that out for more details. Okay, thanks for tuning in Be sure to call me if you got any questions. We love helping people move to this area. My number is 304-264-2828. Okay, have a great day. I will see you next week. Bye.